More snow in the high country overnight. This is a live look at Beaver Creek Ski Cam. Right there, look at all the snow coming down. We're tracking conditions along I-70 if you're heading up to the mountains today. And while the mountains are getting snow, metro area just saw some rain overnight, which means it may be a little wet in some spots for your morning commute. Thanks for joining us. Happy Friday. I'm Corey Rose.
And I'm Jordan Chavez. Good morning, everybody. Well, I'm glad that somebody's seeing some snow right there, right behind us. Have to bring that magic that way. 90s weather impact meteorologist Jaden Knowles is driving along I-70, I believe, near Georgetown right now. Jaden, how are the roads looking over there?
Well, you know, it's a lot different. Good morning, Corey and Jordan. Now, when we started the 5 o'clock show hour, we were heading towards Georgetown, and now we're past Georgetown, and road conditions are a lot different so far. We passed 3 vehicles that kind of spun out on the side of the road. So, you know, if you're heading west along I-70, you definitely want to take it nice and slow. I'm going to switch the camera around here and just show you some of the conditions. Noticing just on the right shoulder, there is a little bit of a accumulation with the snow, a lot of more hazard lights that we're seeing, and a lot more slower traffic. As I mentioned, we did pass about 3 vehicles that kind of spun out. We don't know if it's from the road conditions, but we can kind of assume that it is, just because the conditions are so much different from when we actually started the 5 o'clock hour. But overall, we're still heading towards the west. Going to probably go past the Eisenhower Johnson tunnels just to see what the conditions are like there as well. But if you're heading in this direction, definitely give yourself some extra time, slow it down just a little bit. You can kind of see how slow traffic is moving as of right now. But overall, the good news is we finally saw some much needed moisture across the metro area. I mean, it was over 25 days since the last time we saw some rain. Luckily, this weekend is looking to be a lot nicer though, right, Katie?
Yeah, Jaden, thank you so much for your reporting this morning. We're looking ahead to a lot of sunshine for tomorrow, but taking you to the radar right now where Jaden is driving on the I-70 drive, you will be finding some shower activity, but the brunt of the moisture off to our east. So that area of low pressure was a cutoff low. We are seeing some of that shower activity move back into the eastern plains. Estes Park near Allens Park, a rain snow mix there at lower terrain snow over our higher mountains, popping up there on radar near Meeker. Glenwood Springs has seen a few rain snow showers. Nothing major for the metro area. Weld County near Kersey did see upwards of 1/10 of an inch, but really just trace amounts of moisture. But it's still measurable. We'll take it here over the Denver area, as Jaden was just mentioning. It had been 25 days of dry conditions. This morning, we still have the chance for kids heading off to school of seeing a few raindrops here and there. Nothing major, but some light rain still possible. I'd say a waterproof layer, just a shell, a rain jacket. It will be colder for today. Daytime highs below normal, only in the upper 40s. So your weather headlines, happy Friday to you, Colorado. A few scattered light morning showers. Cloudy, cool today. Mountain moisture off and on. Snow showers possible. Winter driving conditions in spots. So just be prepared for changing conditions. But the moisture will taper off statewide later on tonight. Nice Saturday ahead. We are tracking a similar storm system that will roll in on Sunday. For tomorrow, sunshine, upper 50s. It's going to be very lovely, pleasant. A ridge of high pressure builds in very quickly, all ahead of our next storm. It's dry to start our Sunday, building cloud coverage, chance for rain showers late in the evening. Then as we head into next week, we are tracking some very cold air. It'll really switch things up here temperature-wise here for the metro area and a big portion of the region. We'll talk more about just how cold it's going to get heading into our Thanksgiving holiday coming up in your extended forecast. Erica.
Katie, thank you. 6:02. We want to talk about your traffic impact drive like we just heard from Jaden. I am getting reports of a couple spun out vehicles along westbound I-70 this morning in the Silver Plume area just outside of Georgetown is where we're getting 3 separate reports this morning. And we can see the flashing lights out here. This is westbound I-70 and Woodward Street in Silver Plume. And what we can see here is 2 very separate areas where we have those flashing lights this morning. No full closures. It does look like this is actually fully in that left shoulder. So lanes are open and moving on the interstate. Volume is light, but let this be your message if you're driving in the high country that it is obviously slick out here with a couple reported crashes as well as a couple spun out vehicles. Let's take you over to what we're seeing. Metro area, quiet, clear, and in the green, but the mountains is where we're a little concerned right now. So I want everyone to take it very slow if you need to travel up that way. We do have passenger vehicle traction laws that are active for the I-70 mountain corridor and Loveland Pass. That means you need to have four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, snow tires if you are going to be tackling the I-70 mountain corridor. So again, westbound I-70 spin-out reported in Bakerville. We've got a couple reported crashes and spin-outs this morning in the Silver Plume area, so be careful. As we zoom out to show you the big picture, we're seeing a little bit of yellow here as you make your way from Vail toward Copper this morning. Again, a little bit of yellow along Loveland Pass as well. Metro area, though, really not a concern at all. Lots of green. Travel times are quick. No issues on 225.
All right, thank you, Erica. A recent burial at a century-old cemetery in Lafayette revealed a problem beneath the surface, one so concerning that the city has now stopped coffin burials altogether. The city sent out letters to more than 100 people who own burial plots there at the Lafayette Cemetery. It notified them of a moratorium on coffin burials. During the moratorium, families can keep their plot for cremation only, transfer to another cemetery, or get a refund. We spoke with one of those people who may have to change their burial plans.
My family's been here for 100 years in this town here. They were going to bury somebody else there, and they hit a casket. That's the reason that this whole thing's going on right now.
So the state archaeologists actually came in and discovered that they had many overlapping grave sites and unmarked remains. The city said they don't know how long the moratorium is going to last.
Remember that United flight that left Denver and ended up with a cracked windshield mid-flight? Well, we finally have an idea what happened. The NTSB believes a weather balloon is responsible for shattering the windshield last month. That's in a preliminary report the agency released this week. The flight with 112 people on board was headed to LA. The report shows it was flying at 36,000 feet above Utah when the pilot noticed an object on the horizon. Before he could even mention it to the first officer, the windshield shattered, sending glass onto both pilots. The captain suffered some cuts to his right arm. No one else was hurt, and the plane landed safely in Salt Lake City. The NTSB believes a weather balloon that launched from Spokane, Washington, is what hit the plane. The damaged windshield was sent to an NTSB lab in Washington, D.C. to be examined. The incident is still under investigation.
The minimum wage in Boulder County is set to increase at a slower pace than previously planned. The minimum wage was originally set to rise to $25 an hour by the year 2030. That's for unincorporated Boulder County. Farmers and small business owners argued that could drive them out of business. So commissioners decided that starting in 2027, the minimum wage will be dependent on the Consumer Price Index. By 2030, it is now estimated to be at $18.93.
Well, it's a built-in expectation for a lot of customers dining out, a glass of water on the table while you look through the menu. But the city of Aurora is hoping that you will reconsider. This week, the city passed a resolution encouraging restaurants to serve water only when customers request it. A move officials say could help conserve resources over time. The city isn't currently under a drought restriction, but it is monitoring water storage levels. Right now, its supply is sitting around 80 or 65%. Aurora Water tells us the situation would likely change if the city entered a drought or water shortage plan. That's when it would become mandatory for restaurants to serve only upon request.
State water regulators have advanced a $100 million deal to purchase some of the oldest water rights on the Colorado River. The goal is to keep more water levels up in both streams and the river itself. This week, the Colorado Water Conservation Board accepted the Shoshone water rights into the state's in-stream flow program, which aims to keep a certain amount of water in the river each year in order to protect the environment. XL currently owns the water rights tied to the Shoshone power plant near Glenwood Springs. They are some of the oldest rights on the river, which means that they get first priority in times of drought. A broad coalition on the western slope is trying to buy the rights from XL for $99 million to protect them from a future buyer. Now, this is a big step forward, but it's not a final decision just yet. A water court will weigh in on the proposal next.
Experts say the prices of certain grocery items could go down. That's after President Trump removed some tariffs on Brazilian goods this week. They include duties on coffee and beef, as well as certain fruit, juices, and nuts.
NASA has released new images of an interstellar comet. Check this out. It's just the third visitor ever confirmed from elsewhere in the galaxy. The interstellar object appears as a bright point of light surrounded by a blurry halo of gas and dust. In the next few weeks, scientists will have more opportunities to study it and better characterize its appearance, speed, chemical makeup, and possible place of origin.
6:08, we want to get you out the door with your traffic impact drive. If you're getting ready to make your way into the high country between Georgetown and Silverthorne, it's a little bit dicey. I've had 3 separate reports between spinouts and crashes. Good news is, literally in the last 2 minutes, a couple of those incidents were cleared. This is the final one that we're dealing with. You can just see the flashing lights out here. This is in Silver Plume, westbound I-70 right around Woodward Street. Not a full closure of the interstate by any means. We can see the flashing lights though up here and all the way back here this morning. Traffic is still moving fine. We're not dealing with a whole lot of volume, but let this be your message. If you do need to travel into the high country, it is definitely slick. Dare I say a little bit icy out there even with what we're seeing these problems. So just please take it slow if you need to head up that way. We also have active passenger traction laws. So if you're driving up there, make sure you've got 4-wheel, all-wheel drive or a snow mode on your vehicle.